you didn't enter the United States with a visa, can you apply for a green card? So typically, in order for you to get a green card, if you didn't enter into the United States with a visa, which means that you entered without inspection, we call it EWI. In order for you to get a green card, you cannot go the adjustment of status route unless you qualify for certain things that allow you to do that. So most people, so let's just use the example that, you know, you're married, but you came in here without inspection. If you came here without inspection, you would have to consular process. Consular process means process your green card outside of the United States. Obviously, there's steps to that before you're able to do it, but you won't be able to adjust, like stay here and adjust your status. There are a few exceptions that can allow you to do that. If you qualify for a VAWA petition based on either a U.S. citizen spouse or a green card holder spouse, or if you have a child that is 21 and is cruel to you and they're U.S. citizens, you can also do it based on the child. So it will essentially be a self-petition. Of course, there's also, like, if you qualify for a T visa, which is human trafficking, or a U visa, which is basically violent crime. So those things could technically allow you to get a green card here. But the general route, if you came in without inspection, is file I-130, get I-130 approved, request a hardship waiver based on a qualifying relative. If that's approved, then, you know, you got to go back and do your interview in your home country, okay? You have to do an interview with a VAWA case. So the way VAWA works is that when you submit a VAWA application, stand alone, there is no interview. They usually make a decision based on what you've submitted, if they request for additional evidence, or to send you an NOID. If you file a VAWA application with an adjustment of status, there's a high likelihood that after your VAWA has been approved without an interview, that you will be scheduled for an interview for the adjustment of status portion. You know, earlier during COVID, and I wouldn't even say last year, we were seeing some bypasses to the interview, but generally you will get an interview. A VAWA, an adjustment of status interview based on VAWA is going to look very different than a green card interview. You should still be prepared. Granted, it's not as adversarial as a marriage-based interview, but they're looking really at your 485, which is your green card application, to make sure that there's nothing on there to make you inadmissible into the United States. So since the time you submitted your application, you know, have you committed any crime? Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen falsely? Have you, have you engaged in prostitution? Have you engaged in militia, violence? You know, so I'm just listing just a bunch of random things on the form. So those are the things they're looking at. Are you now divorced? When did you get divorced? Can I see your divorce certificate? Did you go remarry? Because you know you cannot remarry if you have a pending VAWA case. I talk about this all the time. So if you remarry, that's it for you. How long does it take to get an approval for VAWA from the time it's been filed? Most VAWA cases take anywhere from 2 years to 2.5 years. That is the average. You know, with every average means that sometimes you're going to have a case that takes much less and sometimes a case that takes much more. You know, I've had cases approved in 6 months, cases approved in 12 months. But those are anomalies. What I mean by anomalies, those are unique. That is not normal. So you should never expect that as normal. Most VAWA cases take at least 18 months to 24 months. That is truly the average. And they are pretty razor sharp on that timeline. Which is why, you know, it's a good idea when you're submitting your VAWA application, if you qualify for adjustment of status, to apply for your adjustment of status and your work permit and travel permit at the same time, so that you can get a 2-year work permit, so that even if your case is pending, you can continue to work, and then you also have a travel permit if you needed to travel, okay?